Berkeley. Once a month, usually on a Saturday, I bought groceries from my paternal great-uncle Louis Baszile. He was one of the few members of my father's family to have migrated to California from Louisiana in the 1940s, and one of only two who'd settled in San Francisco. In his early 70s, by the time I enrolled in Berkeley, Uncle Louis looked forward to my monthly visits. He was usually standing in his doorway waiting for me when I pulled up in front of his house on Lyon Street. That particular Saturday, I was running late. Rather than shop for Uncle Louis's groceries at my local supermarket in Berkeley, I stopped at a supermarket a few blocks down Telegraph Avenue in Oakland. I was appalled by what I encountered. Worse than the dismal lighting and dingy tiled floor was the poor quality of the produce. A few limp bunches of collards and withering mustards, shrunken heads of cabbage, bushels of shriveled green beans, and apples and pears that were dented and bruised. The inequity between the two markets, this one in Oakland and my neighborhood market in Berkeley, was glaring. I was infuriated and offended. How, I wondered, could the produce in the market near campus where all the white students shop be so bountiful, while the produce in the same supermarket chain just a few blocks away where the black people shopped be so inferior? Back then, no one I knew spoke of food justice and food sovereignty. The term food apartheid wasn't part of the lexicon. I had no outlet for my frustration, no place to express my outrage. But the memory of picking through those bins of substandard produce stuck with me. Years later, I learned that my maternal great-great-grandfather, Mac Hall, born 1845, arrived on one of the last slave ships and was sold twice before landing on the Stamps plantation in Butler County, Alabama. After Emancipation, he settled in the tiny rural settlement of Long Creek, near Georgiana. He was a merchant, blacksmith, beekeeper, and farmer, and eventually owned 680 acres of land thick with peach orchards. The family home place was only 50 miles from the Tuskegee Institute. 5 of Mac Hall's grandsons, whom everyone referred to as the Hall brothers, learned carpentry and brick masonry at Tuskegee. Years later, they carried those skills with them when they migrated to Detroit, Michigan, where they built 2-story brick houses for themselves and their family members in Royal Oak Township. Like their grandfather, they cherished their connection to the soil and understood the value in owning and taking care of land. Their cousin, my grandfather Maimon, and his wife, Willa May, continued the same tradition of property ownership. They bought 11 lots around Royal Oak Township. After Maimon was killed in a car accident, Willa May sold the lots when she needed extra money. In the end, she sold all but one, which she kept for her vegetable garden. To this day, my mother, an avid gardener, grows collard greens in a corner of her backyard. Staying connected to the soil, she likes to say, is in our DNA. It's no surprise, then, that years after I graduated from Berkeley, news coverage of black farmers converging on Washington, D.C. to protest against the USDA's discriminatory practices reignited my passion for black farmers' stories. I followed the proceedings of the famous class action lawsuit, Pickford versus Glickman. That passion and a growing curiosity about the lives of today's black farmers led me to write Queen Sugar, which is set in the sugarcane belt of South Louisiana. In writing Queen Sugar, I wanted to tell the story of a black farming family like the one from which I'd descended.